You're listening to As the World Burns, a short podcast series that dives into the fire beneath the pages of Mice and Men. We're taking a hard look at the loneliness, broken dreams, and deep injustices that shaped Steinbeck's world and still echo in ours today. Some walls are built with bricks, others are built with fear, silence, and hate. In this final episode of As the World Burns, we explore how Of Mice and Men exposes the cruelty of a society divided by race, gender, ability, and age. From Crooks's darkened room to Curly's wife's voiceless fury, we'll confront the prejudice that separates and destroys those who are already struggling to survive. This isn't just history, it's the fire we still live in. In Of Mice and Men, power doesn't come from kindness or wisdom. It comes from where you stand in the social order, and who you get to stand above. Crooks is black, disabled, and completely alone. He sleeps in the stable, not at the bunkhouse. He's not invited to play cards, and when he tries to speak up, he's reminded of exactly where he stands. You've got no rights messing around in here at all. He knows that no matter what he says, or how he says it, he can be silenced with a single threat. And then there's Curly's wife. No name, no identity beyond who she's married. The men call her a tramp, a tart, trouble, but no one sees her for what she is, lonely, angry, trapped. She reaches out for connection and is pushed away at every turn. When she finally speaks with Lenny, it's one of the only honest conversations she has. And then, like everyone else who has been seen in this story, she's gone. No mourning, no justice, just silence. And then there's Candy, old, injured, terrified of becoming useless. After his dog is killed, he clings to George and Lenny's dream, not because he believes it'll come true, but because it's the first time someone has treated him like he still matters. And finally, Lenny, mentally disabled, vulnerable, and dangerous in ways even he doesn't understand. No one tries to teach him, no one protects him. When things go wrong, the solution is simple: get rid of him. Steinbeck wasn't creating a dystopia. He was writing what he saw. In 1930s America, racism wasn't just social, it was legal. Jim Crow laws enforced segregation across much of the country. Black men like Crooks were banned from white spaces, kept apart physically, socially, and economically. Women, especially in rural communities, were expected to be quiet, domestic, and obedient. Ambition was dangerous. Curly's wife dares to want more, and the world punishes her for it. People with disabilities, like Lenny, were often sent to institutions. Many were sterilized without consent under eugenics policies. There was no understanding, no care, only fear. And if you were old or injured like Candy, you were expected to step aside, to disappear. Steinbeck didn't invent these injustices. He held a mirror to them. Of Mice and Men isn't just about individuals. It's about systems. The structures that decide who is valuable and who is disposable. Crooks, Curly's wife, Candy, Lenny, they're all different, but the same fire burns beneath them. A world that fears difference and punishes it. Steinbeck shows how prejudice doesn't need violence to be deadly. Sometimes all it takes is silence, a locked door, a slur, a decision made behind someone's back. And what makes it tragic is that none of these characters are truly bad. They're just caught in a system that teaches them to fear each other instead of fight for each other. We'd love to think the story is old, that we've moved on, but the walls are still here. Some of them are just harder to see. Racism, sexism, ableism, ageism, they still shape our world. They still divide us. They still tell people they're less than, that they don't belong here. They don't matter. Steinbeck's story may be set nearly a century ago, but it's not finished, because people are still judged for how they look, how they think, how they move, or who they are. And that means the fire he wrote about, it still burns, as bright as ever. And that sucks. Thank you for listening to As the World Burns. We've walked through loneliness, lost dreams, and deep injustice, and maybe more than anything, we've learned that these are not separate fires, they're part of the same blaze. A society that isolates, lies, and divides will always be burning from the inside out. But if Steinbeck left us with anything, it's this. We can still look, we can still see, and maybe, just maybe, we can still change.